welcome back to Retail Media Thursdays with me, Michelle Owen. It's the one everybody's been waiting for. I am joined today by the pioneers of retail media themselves, Amazon Ads. Let's go in. Welcome, Rob, to Retail Media Thursdays. We've been planning this for a while, so excited to have you here. Do you want to introduce yourself and where you're from?
Yeah, sure. So thank you for having me, first of all. So my name's Rob Quattromini. I'm a Senior Partner Development Manager for Amazon Ads. I started about 3 years ago, the end of 2019. A lot's changed in the world since then. And I'm part of a team called the Global Ads Partner Development Team. It's a bit of a mouthful, but GAPD, we love acronyms. But really our team supports independent agencies and tech partners to help advertisers accelerate their business with Amazon Ads. So, partners like Sky, for example, who build solutions to help advertisers grow. We really help nurture that relationship and make sure they're early adopters of our APIs and aware of our roadmaps, and also support business development opportunities as well. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, and you do a great job at it, Rob. I was actually at an event yesterday and he was asking me when Amazon are going to appear on here, so
here we go.
Here we are. Let's start with, where are we and why did we choose this pub?
Yeah, so we're at the Northumberland Arms today. To be totally honest, it starts at 11 a.m. It's the only one that opens at 11 a.m. So it's quite convenient for me to go back to my office and do the meetings I need to do. So
I appreciate the honesty.
We love a bit of candor, right?
It's not a bad pub though for anyone who's in the area. So let's get into the questions. We've seen the rapid evolution of Amazon ad formats over the last 5 years. I know I was at CES a couple of months ago and there was just so much available now to advertisers. Obviously, in addition to even the sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display, sponsored brand video, sponsored display video, the DSP. Tell us what that journey's been like from your perspective.
Yeah, so it's a lot to unpack there. I think the first point really is that there's this backdrop of this digital first media landscape, and it's really diversified the way that shoppers shop and the way that advertising can connect and reach with those people. So it means that that's great. We have a democratization of the way that the media is consumed, but also it makes it more challenging for marketers. They have to be more sophisticated in how they reach those potential customers. So they're looking for more technology, more agility, and more flexibility to be able to get the insights they need to be able to build their marketing campaigns. So that's kind of this main backdrop that's been happening over the last 5 years or so. But also something that's quite unique about Amazon is that, and you may have heard this about our leadership principles and how they instill the culture that we have, is that we have one called customer obsession, which is probably the one that I think is the most important, really. And when we talk about customer obsession, that actually means not just advertisers, but also retailers, shoppers, anyone who's going to engage with Amazon products at some point. So we have a bigger responsibility to ensure that our advertising formats don't encroach on the experience of shoppers, browsers on our third-party websites, our own properties. So we have this end-to-end experience that we really need to be thinking about, which is quite unique. It's a challenge on our side and how we build those products to ensure that we build those connections. So I guess in a simplified way is that with this backdrop of more expansive media, and also we're trying to be customer obsessed to ensure that those connections happen, that means that our products that we've built over time have those two things in mind. So how we leverage our media through our entertainment platforms, and obviously sponsored ads, and how we connect shoppers to the right products. And those sorts of elements are all about making it easier for advertisers, but also making it a valuable exchange for shoppers as well.
Yeah, retail media has to be a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we talked there about the expanded products, but what about your expanded audiences? As you know, Sky, we've got a strong heritage in search and social, so working with brands that don't necessarily sell on Amazon. I know you call this the non-endemics. What are the opportunities for those non-endemic brands through Amazon Ads?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way we regard non-endemics are essentially brands who don't sell on Amazon. And we see this as an area where, the conception previously for Amazon Ads is that we only provide support for endemic customers, those selling on Amazon. And that has historically been the case for sponsored ads products, but the Amazon DSP, which has been around for a while, is actually a great way to be able to reach highly relevant audiences using Amazon's first-party signals. And I think this is actually, it gets a lot more powerful when you think about this in the context of the launch of Amazon Marketing Cloud. You know, that's our sort of clean room solution, which enables you to bring in Amazon DSP campaign data and also pair that with brands' first-party signals to be able to kind of really stitch together some interesting insights. So this is something that's pretty unique, and it's actually a way of, you know, non-endemic brands to really accelerate and be able to reach those highly relevant audiences, but then also find that kind of full journey and sort of mapping to what's valuable for them as a business. And we're also expanding, you know, not just the Amazon DSP, but we're also expanding the capabilities within our sponsored ads products. So Unboxed last year in October, we announced Sponsored Display would actually release some non-endemic capabilities. And this really branches out a new avenue for new advertisers who are looking to try and utilize, you know, some of the opportunities that come from Amazon ads and reach these new unique audiences, but maybe are looking to maybe just test or try something with, you know, a very small budget, and they just want to see how it goes. And the Amazon DSP has sort of minimum spend limits, whereas the Sponsored Display, you know, no minimum bar. So I think that's really making it useful for both those really advanced big brands who need the sort of levers and capabilities for the Amazon DSP, but also those who are maybe smaller and just looking to understand how they can just try and activate through these audiences and try and find value and find those connections with new businesses. So we are really expanding our product set to kind of cater for this new audience. Even though it's been there for a while, like, we are trying to expand that and make it more accessible.
And something I'm sure that over the next 12 months, as the death of the cookie looms, is going to become even more compelling to these non-endemic brands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you touched on AMC there. For those people who might be watching this and still not familiar with this kind of buzzword at the moment, what is AMC? I know we hear a lot of questions from our clients about how they can and should be using this. We all know that the value of the insights that come from AMC is incredible. We also know that you need to connect those insights to action, and we're seeing clients do a lot of pretty cool stuff there around kind of very advanced day parting strategies and so on and so forth. What are you seeing? Like, where is AMC today? Where's it going in the future? How are advertisers going to start leveraging this?
Yeah, I think, so again, to take a step back there, really, so AMC, or Amazon Marketing Cloud, is our own sort of holistic measurement solution. And really it's a clean room where advertisers and brands and agencies can connect their own first-party signals with Amazon's own signals. So what we've tend to find is that this is a more robust solution to kind of do that end-to-end tracking of a campaign. So some examples here might be, you know, looking at kind of custom attribution models, or even assessing lifetime value, or even things like just understanding the incremental benefit of some of your advertising. So how many unique audiences were able to be reached through this campaign, or how many brand searches were able to be delivered off of this campaign. So it really provides that broader insight into what's happening. And one thing I just wanted to sort of touch on as well, which is important to note, is that AMC is essentially kind of closed to Amazon, and it's intentionally built in that way. We obviously wanted to have a privacy safe and secure way for brands to be able to utilize this. And it's intentionally built so that we can't see that information. It's just to ensure that there's that trust, and also that that they have that capability without kind of eyes of us on there. So it's tricky when you talk to kind of product teams who are actually working directly with these brands, and these brands are saying, hey, can you look at this? Are we doing it in the right way? And these product teams are saying, we have no visibility in what you're doing. So it's intentionally built that way to sort of make sure that these brands have that completely secure environment. A couple of things also to note, so Amazon Marketing Cloud is only available for those with an Amazon DSP MSA, or Master Services Agreement. That's the way it is right now. And also it's important to note that this is a technical product. It's not necessarily a off-the-shelf solution that you can just pick these insights and then you've got your media campaign kind of ready to go. These are it's a vast library of SQL queries that you can draw on, and then you have to do some of the stitching yourself. So it really requires some sort of tech-savvy individuals to be able to use this product, and data analysts to be able to kind of bring it in and really analyze what's going on.
Or a partner like Sky.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously within our organization, we work with partners, and we really see these partners as being sort of ambassadors of the Amazon Ads business, and early adopters, and really helping drive sort of the value on top of the products that we build. What I would say as well is that we're pretty early on in how we build these products like AMC, and we are quite open to feedback and working with our partners to really understand what that feedback should be. Again, from Sky's perspective, it's that kind of the technical capabilities, but also the feedback that you're getting from your customers. How do we make sure that we're building the right products that are actually going to drive value? So we really see a lot of value in working with our partners, because they are sort of extensions to our product teams in a way, because they help really inform our products.
And we have a new AMC release coming out this month, so watch this space. I'm sure plenty of feedback will come on the back of that.
Yeah.
Okay, CTV and cord cutting, it's an area of major transformation for the consumer. What's Amazon's take on this?
Yeah, so cord cutting isn't necessarily news anymore. E-marketer studies are suggesting that this year, in 2023, that non-pay TV households will actually be the same as pay TV households. And as we move forward, that's likely to surpass that. So those non-pay TV households will actually surpass those pay TV households. And more importantly as well, that the younger audience is actually leaving traditional TV. So we know that streaming is mainstream, excuse the pun, but cord cutting is kind of driving viewers to stream through connected TVs. So we talked about it earlier, but the sort of diversification and sort of the fragmented media landscape is also what's driving this. In fact, a study from Nielsen said that 62% of advertisers were actually cited as saying that measurement was the reason that they weren't utilizing streaming TV as a possible channel to drive value for them. So it's really that challenge of being able to measure across all these kind of fragmented media properties and understand the sort of incremental value. Now, Amazon Ads is looking to solve for that. The goal really is that we want to make streaming TV as simple as possible. So instead of needing to work with many different providers for different devices, services, and content, brands can work with Amazon Ads to feature across devices like Fire TV and third-party connected TV devices as well. So brands can show up across our content on Freevee, which was previously IMDb TV, Twitch, and also premium broadcast and network apps, and including our sports apps as well, ad-supported live sports events on Prime Video. So all of this is really possible through our technology, like the Amazon DSP. And we know it's also not just about reaching audiences, it's actually about reaching the unique and relevant audiences. That's where the extra value comes in, with the incremental benefits to brands. Incrementality is key, and we found that 71% of the audiences reached through Amazon's streaming TV was completely incremental to those that were compared to linear TV campaigns. So not only are we seeing incremental audiences, but a much broader reach through these campaigns. But not only that as well, when we ran the same study and looked at behavioral signals as a way of reaching audiences versus demographics, it actually drove a 29% increase in purchase rate. So looking at the incremental reach and the sort of the broader value that comes there, but also those customers that are being reached are actually engaging with the ads a lot more and more likely to purchase after engaging with those videos.
Okay, so let's change topics slightly now. We know that marketers, I'm a marketer, I know the constraints, the challenges that many are under right now. And there's obviously a lot of press earlier this year talking about how performance ad types were going to be invested in heavily this year versus kind of branding and upper funnel formats. First of all, are you seeing any evidence of this kind of a quarter in? And secondly, what are your thoughts on the role that those upper funnel, those branding ad formats play as we start to kind of head towards an inevitable recovery?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to reconsider what performance means for certain brands. We talk about performance and we talk about branding, and I think it's important to really sort of put the microscope a little bit on what does performance actually mean, and really how does that tie to objectives. And attribution is an intrinsically difficult thing to be able to measure. It's a challenge across the whole industry, and marketers are really finding that difficult. I think from Amazon Ads perspective, we've got better at being able to provide additional metrics and insights that go beyond last click ROAS. I think that's traditionally where sort of performance marketing has been considered, that bottom funnel, last click ROAS, like how are we doing in that sense? And it's very kind of black and white, like how that performance is. So I think what we're trying to do is really provide more insight into what the more holistic value is happening. You know, when we talk about new to brand and we talk about incremental audiences, like really trying to tie that back to what the marketing objective is. And I think that's also important to consider regardless of budget. You know, we're not just talking about big brands here that have big budgets. Like this is something that, you know, even smaller brands can do, is really think closely about what is valuable to their business and understand which metrics are the right ones to be looking at. But those brands that I think are doing it really well is being able to get a bit smarter on how they think about the signals and the measurement piece. So if we think about, you know, we talked about AMC earlier, really understanding what is happening for your holistic business. So putting your, you know, first party signals with your performance data from your campaigns, really thinking about what that kind of the value proposition is for these different tactics you're employing. And I think that's where sort of being a bit more critical of what your KPIs are, your key performance indicators, I think is always a really healthy thing. You know, I came from the agency side, and I think part of my role was actually to try and think differently and try and think about, like, well, you know, ROAS is ROAS, but actually what is the broader impact of this marketing campaign? We touched on it earlier as well around the sort of diversification of media and how people are engaging with different media across the full funnel, so to speak. And it makes it very difficult to measure. So we need to be aware that this other stuff is going on, and actually the impact of our advertising is having a benefit across the whole, you know, the whole funnel and not just the bottom of the funnel. And that's something that I remember I was speaking to clients quite a bit around. You know, it's great to have search volume, and it's great to sort of have that as your, you know, bottom of the funnel, great ROAS and all that kind of stuff. But what drives search volume? How do we make sure that we're reaching those audiences to ensure that our products or services are in front of the right people that helps drive the funnel? And I think that's where those brands that are doing it right are kind of really thinking about that full journey. And again, this is regardless of budget. It's really thinking about how they all play together and then having a measurement solution that can kind of really tie those pieces. To be honest, when we face headwinds, I think that's usually the time that we tend to come up with the most creative solutions. So with everything that's going on and like that real kind of focus on profitability and you know what you mentioned around performance, this is where I think those brands are going to be a lot more creative about, you know, finding the right solutions and being able to really pull together those insights. So I think, you know, that the challenges will hopefully sort of breed some creative solutions in that.
Definitely. It definitely makes us think differently as marketers. So thank you, Rob. That was all the questions we've got time for today. We're not letting you off the 5 questions with round though. So are you ready?
Thought I was off the hook.
No way. It's the best bit. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What was your last Amazon purchase?
It's going to be embarrassing, but I have a stag do coming up, so there's a few bits for a costume that I will be dressing up as that I bought on Amazon. I'm not going to say what it was, but a few clothing items that I needed to get for that.
Will you send us pictures so we can have it pop up on this?
Maybe.
We've talked about CTV and cord cutting, but what was the last programme you watched on traditional TV?
Oh, good question. Gogglebox.
Mine was Coronation Street. Take the girl out of the north. Okay, let's think of another Amazon-related question. So, obviously today with Amazon Music, we can stream what we want, but what was the first ever album you bought?
Oh, I think it was Americana by Offspring, or The Offspring. I was a little bit of a punk rocker back in the day, so my 9-year-old self was going out buying that.
Love it, absolutely love it. You're a Brighton fan. What's your prediction for the match this weekend?
The FA Cup. I don't think we've got too much hope against Manchester United, but we're going with my dad, so suck up the atmosphere. Hopefully it'll be a good result, but we'll see what happens. It's good to be at Wembley.
Fingers crossed you get through. And last but not least, so the Amazon River is over 4,000 miles long. How many bridges are across the river?
Oh, God. 25.
None.
Oh.
0.
Let's get a boat along.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Rob. It's been fun to talk with you today. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this episode, so hopefully we didn't disappoint.
Thanks for having me.